You are now familiar with the concept of time value of money. You are also able to do the calculations, use a software for doing the calculations. For example, you can convert P to F, F to P, P to PMT. You can calculate rate and many other things. You also are able to do some sort of maneuver over these tools that you have regarding manipulating the time value of money to create some reports. The most famous of them is amortization table for a mortgage over 30 years, over 20 years. So you should now be very good with time value of money. Now I have a question from you. What do you know about capital budgeting? Have you heard it before? Do you think you know about it? Let's check the classic definition of capital budgeting. The process of evaluating, usually long-term, investment decisions. Until here, what do you think? The process of evaluating, usually long-term, investment decisions. Of course, you tell yourself, now I have done many evaluation on investment decisions. So maybe I'm already good with capital budgeting, involving significant cash flows over time, because it is telling you in this part, it is sophisticated because you need to consider it over time, where time value of money makes things more complicated. It is used by firms, governments, and individuals alike. Now you make sure that all the things that you have practiced on, you exercised, you did examples, they were in fact part of a very famous topic in the field of financial management that is called capital budgeting. As I told you before, I'm always interested to start learning holistically from the core concepts, fundamentals, and at the end get to details, names, definitions. And now for this one, again, I did the same. We reviewed everything possible according to time limits about capital budgeting. And if you have always been caught up following the instructions and have done your best in learning and growing in this field, you should be in the best shape possible. Again, according to the limits and the time we had. And you can call yourself a capital budgeter, although we don't have such a term in financial textbook. The term that I just said, capital budgeter, we don't have such a thing. And in textbook, they refer to it as financial manager, but I just wanted to be more specific and just make it some sort of dramatic at this point that I'm telling you what we discussed and what you practiced is a very popular and well-known field in financial management that is called capital budgeting. About the other bullet that we have here, it says the decision involves a large upfront cost. You are very familiar with this type of thing. We practice these things a lot. A large upfront cost. If we consider it in a cash flow, it is that one. It is talking about that. Long-term consequences. And after that, years after that comes with different cash flows and future cash flows over time. So you see, every word in this classic definition aligns with what we discussed together. And especially because in capital budgeting, it's about evaluating. It's about decision making. So especially the things that we discussed together recently about the, for example, replacement analysis. It fits beautifully in the area of capital budgeting, or even sensitivity analysis that we had, because they all are about that evaluation. And before that, it was more about tools, understanding the time value of money and that type of thing. And now you have a better picture of your knowledge in this field. For firms, they go, for example, and get a new machine that can cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars or even millions of dollars. For government's project, that how we are supposed to use this type of analysis, we had about left turn lanes and right turn lanes. If you remember, about individuals' cases, many, just considering buying a house and comparing it with renting, leasing a car, financing, buying cash, and all those things. All the things, my friends, are capital budgeting. The process of evaluating investment decision when there is cash flow over time. It is not just a decision for now. You are giving something and getting something right away. No, it is about significant cash flow over time. It is about consequences that would be after the initial investment. As you can see here, long-term consequences, future cash flows. You remember this example. We spent a significant amount of time on this example. And now I want to invite you to accompany me to taking it to a new level, more professional level. What's that? We are gonna redo this example, but this time we want to get the answer with just this column. Marginal cost. I'm giving you a very interesting and sophisticated type of challenge. So if you find yourself interested in this field and you always feel thirsty for more challenging type of analysis, now I'm going to give you that one. And I assure you, you can do it. if you are caught up with everything we have discussed. Just you need to be more innovative. Things are not going to be available to you as you can see in this slide. No. I want you to do this example if you have only this column based on the marginal cost available for year 1, year 2, year 3, 4, and 5, and you have the Challenger EUAC as this. That's it. And here you are going to notice how much that marginal cost data is rich. It is the new shape of the example 13-6, and it is asking you to do replacement analysis with technique 2 while you just have these two columns here. The column for year and the column for defender marginal cost. And by the way, let me give you the good news that you are gonna like this new way of doing this exercise way more than the previous one, because it is way easier, more understandable. And you remember when we were trying to do this example, we went through many calculations. We went to calculate the present worth of costs we had here. And present worth of cost meant that if we wanted to keep the machine for 3 years, we needed to consider all these 3 payments. So present value of costs. And after we calculate the present value of the cost, we calculate EUAC of the cost. And also we needed to calculate EUAC of capital cost, the salvage value at the beginning and at the end of the period. We have discussed all these things, but I'm just giving you a better context that when in this question it is asking you, no, you shouldn't calculate any of these things. And in fact, you cannot now calculate present worth of cost, because in the new presentation, it doesn't give you that column. In the new presentation, it doesn't give you the column of salvage value, so you can go to calculate EUAC of capital costs. It seems that you are completely limited to calculate the EUAC, because in this case, the defender marginal cost is decreasing from 0.1, year 1 to 2 decreasing, 2 to 3 decreasing. So you are supposed to use technique 2. And for doing technique 2, you need to go and calculate EUAC mean. Please take it easy on you when you are working on this, because there are some nuances, some points that I need to share with you so you are able to do that. But always, intellectual challenges are rewarding, especially when they are close to real life experiences, and it is especially a field that we are interested to work in and grow in. As the first help for this, please go and check the definitions of marginal cost that we reviewed together. So try to go deep into the definition and see if you come up with any sort of insight after.